oh, look what he did, and let's copy him, because that's what you've done.
Have a conversation about the Electric Viking guy.
All right, Electric Viking. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, why do you watch his videos? I think they're boring. That's
Every now and then he has some key things that other people miss. So I skip most of his videos, but occasionally I find a video that is new and interesting and something I haven't heard someplace else already.
But news related.
News related, yes.
The news related bit is a very important piece.
Yes.
I would say that's like the fifth element of social media that I did not talk about, because there's humor, there's entertainment, there's news, and then there's educational. Excuse me, and then experiences, right? Almost all social media can fall into one of those 5 categories.
Correct.
And his falls under the news category.
Right.
Which is very different than entertainment or humor or experiences.
Correct.
Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like
yes,
the audience expectations, the audience desires are very different.
Correct. But at the same time, he's produced 6 videos a day, every day for the last 3 years.
But I don't think that's what's made him successful. What's made him successful is he's in the news space. So as long as his video comes out before someone else comes out with the same news, he wins. And that's the race he's fighting. 90% of it.
Sometimes. What's interesting with him is sometimes his news is ahead of everybody else.
Yep.
Sometimes he's after.
This number 2, I did a thing because I was looking through his videos and I recognized the accent, right? Aussie accent.
Right, he's Aussie.
And so I was like, I'm curious if there's any other Aussie EV talkers. Guess what happens when you type in Australian EV?
What?
Only his channel pops up in the news.
Yeah.
Now I scrolled down to try to find some other ones. I found a handful of car guys who are Aussie who mention EVs, but there's no one else in Australia talking about EVs.
Right, but his channel isn't a US channel. On the American crowd, because first of all, the language that he uses American English.
I don't.
Not Aussie English.
At number 1, he's got the news going for him, which is a huge benefit, right? Because in SEO terms, if you have a new term and no one else has talked about or written about that term, and you're the first one to talk about it or write about it, or one of the first 3, you're inherently going to get traffic.
Correct, and he's trying to do that by, scouring the web.
But that's also why he's posting 6 times a day, is because he doesn't need quality content. He just needs to be the first one to produce the news content. So you need to understand that's a very different market than those other avenues.
Okay.
Right? And the second thing is, as much as you want to say, I don't think Australia matters, I think it matters in a bunch of ways. I think, 1, there's a lot of Americans, to your point, who do like an Australian accent.
They do.
Right? And
yes.
So there's an element of pleasant voice, right? For some people. There's also an element of, again, if you're in Australia and you look about EVs, you're going to find him.
Right, because you have no choice.
And if you want to maintain what's going on with the EV market, you're going to follow him because there's no one else talking about the EV market that has an Australian accent. That's not my point. It's just there's variables going for him. Now, obviously, if we had his metrics that we could look at, I mean, there would be, more details we could look into. But I just want to throw that out there because I think social media, too often people look as, oh, look what he did and let's copy him, because that's what you've done, right? You've said, oh, hey, look at him. Let's just copy what he's doing. But to copy what he's doing, you have to find you got to be the news source, and you got to be one of the first ones to produce the video. And you got to be able to produce the video faster than anyone else is producing the video. That's what you're realistically talking about. Which is possible, but that's a lot of work.